Hi, this is Matthew Peters, and today I'm going to show you how to use a green screen. Now you can see behind me I have a green screen. This one is a pretty interesting one. I got this on eBay for 15 bucks, and then they're shipping about $10, and this is a used one. But this side it's kind of a felt, and then on the other side is a bright blue felt. And what that does is there are two colors that people rarely wear, and so if you want to use a green screen or the other side is blue, those are two typical colors. If you have someone wearing any blue in it whatsoever, you want to flip it over to the green screen. And if you have someone coming in to do green screen work, obviously make sure they're not wearing any green. What will happen, and I can show you a little bit later, is you'll actually disappear. So people, if they're wearing any green, they'll just disappear. You'll see right through them. So with that said, I want to kind of show you what I've done here. Now, there's a couple tricks to green screen. One of the biggest ones is when I cut the background out of here. At some point, I'm going to cut the background out. You're going to see this line around me, and that's because I'm too close to the background. So you really have to play with the distance from here, because what happens is this light is shining up onto the background, and then there's a little bit of that green bouncing back on me, and that's what I'm actually taking out. So you want to be able to soften that edge, and you can do that in Vegas, and I believe you can do that in iMovie for Mac as well. But for right now, you can see in the back camera here, the second camera, that I've got 3 lights lighting up the background because I don't want my shadows on there. Because once my shadows get in the way, it's going to change that shade or that color of green, and it's going to be too much difference between the top and the bottom and all around here. I want to be able to pull all that color out and make it one solid color as best as possible. And I also want to light myself, so I'm nice and bright here. So if I put in a picture or video behind me, it makes sense. And I'm not going to be part of that picture. So this is how you see it. Now right now, obviously I have the 2 cameras up, and I'm mic'd into this camera right here in front. This is the iPhone. The one in the back is the iPod Touch. Both of them shooting in HD. This one right here is a little bit clearer, better optics, and the sensor is a little bit better. And then we have fixed focus in the back with the iPod Touch. And so the quality isn't quite as good as the iPhone. The 4S is much better quality. But for right now, you can see I have a couple lights here lighting me up, keeping it very simple. Matter of fact, I'll just turn this around here. You can see that I don't even have a diffuser on it because this light is pretty diffused as it is. There's a diffuser goes on it, but once you put the diffuser on, it's going to cut down your light quite a bit. So I have this all set up here, and what you want to do is just keep your camera on a tripod, because once you do that, you keep it on a tripod, it's going to be easier to cut around you. So the other thing you can do, and I can get into the software area of this, is you can mask. So what you could do is I could take myself out. If I do this, that's going to be harder to take myself out. But if I keep confined in this area, what I can do is box myself out, and in post-production, using your editor or what have you, you can move that person around. So if you want them smaller and in the corner, and then you want to be showing a vacation, vacation destinations, or you want to be showing a virtual tour, you can shrink yourself down and put them in the corner, put yourself in the corner or your talent in the corner, and that's one way you can do that. But if you start doing this, then you can't really cut the person out very easily. That's called masking. I'm not going to be covering too much of that, but basically I'm going to be showing you how to pull out this green background. And so that's pretty much it. So what I'm going to do is going to take that background out and start putting other things behind me here so you can see what that looks like. Now the wild thing about this is that you got to make sure that if you're using it, if there's a factor that's kind of a wild factor, or I could say a tackiness factor. So a lot of times you can tell someone's using a green screen, and what you want to do is minimize that as much as possible, because if you start using a green screen and people can see that green outline, or they start seeing a little bit of green on you and it's a little bit pixelated and stuff, I wouldn't even go there. Don't even bother. If you're going to do green screen, do a really good job, unless you're trying to be funny and you want to do something with the background. Then you can play with the quality a little bit there. People forgive it if it's supposed to be funny. But if you're trying to do something serious, you're trying to show high quality video production, and it's just not cutting it. You're getting pixelated around here. If you see a green outline, I wouldn't even go there. All right. One of the things I would suggest is once you decide, you know what, I'm going to do green screen videos, take a part of your house, a part of your garage, basement, what have you, and just set it up. And that's all you do there is green screen. So you have your lights, you have, you know where you're going to be having to stand. So you put tape on the ground where you're standing. Put tape where you're right over where you're going to put your tripod. The other thing you do is you can put tape on each leg of where the tripod would go on the floor, so you know to put that right in that same spot. Because if you notice with this right here, it's got these rounded edges, which really doesn't help me out very much, because what's going to happen is if I turn that camera back and forth, you're going to see that the white edge. Or the other thing is I can't pull back any further. So this is pretty much what it is. So quality is really important. If you can't get really good quality and you're not going for clever or funny, then I wouldn't even do it at all. But if you do decide to do it well. And by doing it well, what that would be is taking the time to set up the background, making sure that you don't have a lot of ripples here, because once you have more ripples, it's going to be more difficult to take out. The other thing is you want to make sure you don't have any hot spots here, which means like really white green here, and then it goes to dark green, which I have a little bit of here because I just set this up quickly. But you want to make sure that you set it up and you do all your green screen videos for the month or what have you. Or you have a place that's dedicated just for green screen. So if you want to have a place dedicated just for green screen, like this one right here is about 6 feet wide and it is 4 feet tall. So the other thing I could do is I could flip it up like this and I could be in a box here and have more of my body if that's what I wanted to do. But really this is what I've chosen to do here. So let's say you have your lights set up, you have your background set up, and what you're going to want to do is tape on the ground where it works for you, the distance between the camera and the where you want to be standing. And then also tape on the ground where the tripod legs are. So next time you're ready to set up, if it's a month later, 2 months later, whatever, you can just set that tripod right where it is. You know where you're going to stand. And just watching the distance between yourself and the backdrop, because that's where you're going to have more issues with the green along the edges here. That is pretty much it for green screen. Like I said, you just want to make sure that if you're going to do it well, do a bunch at a time, you'll save yourself some time. And the other thing to save some more time is you may want to hire somebody to pull out all the backgrounds for you and put the backgrounds in you want. So you either edit your video yourself or bring somebody else in to do that editing, and then key yourself in, which is taking yourself out of the background, pulling that background out, and have someone do that for you too. People who know how to do it can do it very quickly. It'll save you a lot of the frustration. But if you have a little bit of time and you want to play with it, using Vegas or iMovie, both of them have the tools within them to be able to take out the background. So thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, go ahead and put those questions down below here about green screen. I'd love to help you out.